analytics classes for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant's jockstrap, get him out of here.
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back. They snatched that chain, boy. Get back. What's all going to do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back. We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1.
What a morning! What a morning!
Hey, everybody, welcome.
Wow!
All right, there goes my eardrums. Hey, everybody, welcome into the Big Factor.
Fired up.
Here on the Big Play Sports Network, I am Ryan Tyler. He is Jack O'Rourke. He's Nick Padone. He's Rob Watson, guys. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. We have a lot to talk about today. A lot of unfortunate news, it seems, about Martin Emerson, but we'll get to that. But before we talk about that, guys, how are we doing? We've had quite the morning.
Ryan, we're having a morning. We're having a morning.
On like a number of fronts, by the way.
Yeah, this is war not on 2 fronts. This is war on like 7 fronts at this point. So
everyone's got
we're
something going on today, man.
You know, but we're still gonna find a way to hashtag let them know for you guys.
There's so
today.
much
we're
behind,
gonna fight.
There's so much behind the curtains here at Big
Oh,
Play
I mean, the curtains.
the average person isn't privy to.
It sucks
It can
in
be
a way.
stressful.
It sucks in a way because I think that there's stuff that goes on behind the curtain that a lot of people that even work here don't know goes on. So like it's almost getting to a point where we need like an inside Big Play show where we could just like
Just hard knocks.
just throw
Literally
screenshots up on the
But here's the thing,
Literally streaming that too, bro.
yesterday,
That's like-
my phone was still going up, guys. I kid you not, until like 7:30 p.m. last night, and I woke up at like 6. It started at like 6:30 a.m. and it ended around like 7:15 p.m. I hit do not disturb on my phone so hard. I threw it in my office, plugged it in, shut the door. Cam's still sick, so I went and I separated myself by 2 floors from my phone because I was so pissed off about all of the just nonsense that graces it on a daily basis. And first thing this morning, we're right back at it. It really is uncanny.
Joey, rub his shoulders.
Yeah. Joe, I might need one too after. Move around. Just go around the room. Go around the room real quick. Get over here.
Yeah, I think Jack.
Dude, I
needs a
just
shoulder
like,
rub.
yeah, it's something
my
else. It's something
goat.
else.
Not my goat. You don't deserve that, man. Everybody, hey, bro, listen. Anyone out there, if you ever got a problem with Jack O'Rourke, you got a problem with me. Don't mess with my boy, all right?
And hey, if you got a problem with Rob Watson, I'm kind of a bitch and I'm 5'7", but I'll do whatever I can. I'll do whatever I can to
bite your
aid him.
ankle. It'll bite your ankle,
Not
bro.
the ankle biting. That's outrageous.
And I mean, and now Bieber and Quan, it's just a monstrosity of a morning. But Nick, the only reason I'm against doing hard knocks is like when inevitably I get to call into the office and it's time to
Trade.
move ways. I mean that we're all not going to be here for 1,000 years. I'm sure I'll get the DFA one day.
What would a
I
Jack
cannot
O'Rourke-
have a recorded I can't be like the Jets guy who has puts the key card up to the
Like
door.
Jamal
I
Adams.
can't have that go down.
Why
What
not
would,
running with
what
the
would a
ones,
Jack
man?
O'Rourke trade package look like?
Where are we sending you to?
I mean, like catered, maybe like cater like twice a week. I don't know.
We're sending him to UCSS. We're packaging him in
To Bailey Sports Southwest.
There was a mock trade once upon a time.
There was a mock
It
trade.
was
I did get
me,
mocked.
Jack and Joey for Mikey McKnight.
Joey, we're a package deal.
I think the commissioner vetoes that.
Yeah, David Stern. David Stern was not going to allow that. He put his foot down on the ground, so that's not happening, guys.
Oh my goodness, what a show this is.
We should just do this for the next 35 minutes. There's
There's not
shit to talk.
Nobody else cares about anything else.
The secondary was going to suck anyways, guys. I'm sorry.
It's better than talking about the Browns,
segue.
honestly, at this point. I think I'm down to about 3.5 wins is my mark for the
Ryan
season.
went from
Can we
7
talk-
to 3
went from
quarter.
not a bottom 10 roster in the NFL to fuck this team.
Can we talk about it, bro? I've been trying so hard because I don't want him to get to the season. Because I'm like, bro, Ryan knows ball. I asked my guy, he was just like, man, I believe in this roster. I believe in what the Browns do. They're gonna shock everyone this year.
The
Someone
big
sent the
ticket-
Martin Emerson tweet in there yesterday. I said, Ryan, what do you have the win total at? You've been at like 7 to 8 all season. Ryan just says back 3.
That's a generous 3. That's a Jake Moody missing a field goal win as well, by the way, for one of those wins.
Gosh, bro.
Oh man, I just come in here every morning And I try to be optimistic about the Browns because for me, I care about the Cavaliers. I care about the Guardians. To a point, I'm Cleveland, and those are the teams I root for, but I'm just diehard for the Browns. And they're just the most dysfunctional. And I refuse to call them unlucky because you make your own luck. Call it for what you make your own luck with the decisions you make. And the Browns are just consistently such a shit show. It's depressing. And I don't know who to blame. That's the worst part because I could look at the Guardians and you could talk about the payroll. That's one thing. But I look at the Browns team. Am I going to blame Jimmy Haslam? He spends money. Am I going to blame Kevin Stefanski? He's 2-time coach of the year. Am I going to blame Andrew Berry? He didn't have much to work with first rounders for the last 4 years. It's just a giant shit show.
Well, what sucks here too, right, is that this is one that like is completely nobody's fault. You know, it's completely an unavoidable thing. And like a lot of the things that have ailed this organization, especially to date, have been avoidable. You know, I think some of our other frustrations just over the last couple of weeks, you know, the Quinshon Judkins thing, certainly, the fact that you've got 4 quarterbacks and that the one that we all want to see is yet to take a singular 1 rep with the first team, frustrating. The fact that that's the guy that we wanted all along and they ended up drafting a 5'11" left-handed guy 50 draft slots ahead of him, frustrating. And those were all things that were in their control. But I do think then when you get the big gut punch like what we got yesterday, that you're losing a guy in Martin Emerson Jr., who we all are really big fans of. He's been on Big Play before. Like we want to see this guy do well, bounce back, have a great year because we know it means great things for the Browns. Like if him and Denzel and Newsome in the slot are all hit, if they're all firing on the same cylinders at the same time, we know how good that secondary can be because we've seen it. And then you lose a guy like that to something completely unavoidable. Like I listened to Kevin Stefanski's press conference before camp this morning, and he sounded just gutted for the same reason that we are, just because like it's completely unavoidable. It's the worst part of this sport by albatross margin. Like the fact that these injuries happen in camp every year. And it's not just a Browns thing. Like, this is happening everywhere. I saw the Miami Dolphins just lost one of their corners as well yesterday to an ACL. Like, it just sucks, man. And now it is the whole next man up thing. Like, we could talk about, will they bring in another corner? Should they bring in a corner? I don't really think, like, we know what if you've got your tickets booked to Santa Clara, California in February for the Super Bowl, find something else to do while you're out there, because the Browns surely are not going to be there, and they're not going to be there with Martin Emerson. They're not going to be there without Martin Emerson. So I would really just see what you have in Cam Mitchell. Let Greg Newsome play the outside. That's what he wants to do, and see what you've got in Cam Mitchell. Needham is potentially going to make the team now. Like, you've got a lot of young dudes in that room, and now they're going to get added opportunity. Same thing with linebacker, when we were all sitting here groaning that Jordan Hicks retired after the first day and a half of practice.
You know, I think this is a big moment for Greg Newsome, and I think we got to give a little love for Agent Zero here, because we're going to need him to step up this year if this defense is going to do anything, Ryan. I mean, he's a guy who's always wanted to be out on the boundaries, forced into the slot sometimes. Now you get a chance to see what Zero can cook up. Maybe get a little contract extension going for him. What do you think?
Yeah, no. Anyway, Martin Emerson out for the year sucks because 6'2", he's your tallest cornerback by a couple inches.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome. Like, when I think of receivers like Cortland Sutton, Mike Evans, like Denzel Ward is able to guard those guys because he's just a freak athlete and the speed and the hand-eye coordination. Greg Newsome's not guarding those guys on the boundary. He's simply not. That's barbecue chicken. Like, Martin Emerson, going into his final year of his rookie contract, down year last year, but 2023 looked tremendous on the boundary. Now you're going to have to ask Gregory Newsome to slide back into the boundary like he did his first year, and whether he wants to do it or not, 6 feet, I don't think he can keep up with them. Like, if you're going to be that short, and corners aren't necessarily tall in general, but you literally have to be elite like Denzel Ward.
Going to be matchup nightmares out there. First week, I don't know if I could pick us to win the Bengals now that I got T. Higgins.
That's true.
T. Higgins bean topping on Craig
I haven't even
Newsome.
thought about week
Tigers.
1, Rob.
But
I haven't even thought about week 1.
You feel so worn. You just feel awful for Martin Emerson. Like you said, showed he could play at an elite level, has a down year, which from rumors where he was dealing with injuries last year too, thought he could get healthy this year, bounce back. Now in a contract year, you just lose that opportunity to do anything. You feel awful for him.
To be that side, like, God, there's an alternate universe, and this stinks on multiple levels. One, you mentioned week 1. I hadn't even thought about that, but the contract thing too. Like, this is a contract year for him, so that's devastating.
feel awful.
And we've seen flashes of Martin Emerson Jr. Like, as much as everybody likes to, myself included, knock Andrew Berry and his draft misses. Like, we have seen times where Martin Emerson Jr. has looked
Martin
like
Emerson
he
versus
could
the
be
49ers back in the day.
Yeah,
man.
like he has had stretches of games where he looks like, okay, he is a CB1. And like there was a time when we were talking about like, can you afford Denzel Ward and Martin Emerson Jr. in the same defensive backfield? So this does stink because it also kind of clouds the long-term view of this defense. And again, I saw a lot of people yesterday went back to looking at the Dylan Gabriel pick, just
Could've got a
because
safety
you
or a
could have got a
corner or
safety or a
anything,
corner
man.
right there.
And it's just that to go back to what you were talking about, luck. We are no more like unlucky than any other franchise.
Right,
Every
exactly.
team's gonna
I
have an injury
see.
like this,
Yeah.
but it's the stupid decisions that we always make that leave us no room for error on the back end for stuff like this that happens to everyone else. So it seems like our luck is awful, but we're always trying to be smarter. We're taking 2 quarterbacks when we got a paper thin defense and we could use some depth. We're drafting guys who are going out and they're making bad decisions, things that are completely unavoidable, not injuries, but now they're going to be suspensions and things like that. It's just all you leave yourself no room for regular things that are going to happen to everyone. It's just pathetic all around for us as usual, man.
Cam Mitchell season. Nick Needham, Tony Brown, Miles Harden, those younger
Northwestern
corners
boys.
outside
I
of-
think Nick
Tony
Needham will
Brown.
probably make the team now, potentially. With Greg going to, I imagine Greg's going to go to the boundary.
Mitchell
and
the
then
nickel.
Cam Mitchell at nickel. Maybe that opens the door for Needham to be another nickel. And then that probably tells you that they're not too high on Cam Mitchell in the first place, which is one of
Got
their
a
own
pick
draft picks.
yesterday off Dylan Gabriel.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
he
think
threw it right to him. I think I could have gotten that one.
any of us in this room could have picked that ball.
How about real quick? At Lobes leads with the wilted rose, as Rob pointed out to
People
me
were
yesterday.
talking about that play, but like he just had to get the ball out. It was the drill was literally like 4th down. What are you gonna do? Throw the ball away? No, you're gonna just throw. If you throw a pick, who cares?
I know.
Yeah, it's
I
just
put,
optics,
I put
though.
out there, and it is optics because I put out there the good grief, and then some of my buddies were like, "Oh, you just hate Dylan Gabriel." Like, I really don't. I don't hate Dylan Gabriel at all. In fact, I kind of hope he pans out. I think it would be a hilarious story that the dude that we've been
no one
wandering-
wanted.
Yeah, we've been wandering this quarterback desert since 1999, and the dude that finally
we
breaks
least
through
expect.
is the dude that everybody actually doesn't like because everybody wants to see Shador. He's from Hawaii. He hates playing in the cold. He's 5'11", left-handed. Like, it would be hilarious if Dylan Gabriel does pop. But I put out there good grief when he threw that intercept because the
couldn't
word,
lob it up
guys,
to
guys,
someone.
the
Charlie
word-
Brown?
He threw
guys,
it right
the word,
to someone.
the word out of camp is that this 4-man quarterback battle, even with Joe Flacco, who we're all really looking forward to, like the offense is getting back to the Stefanski ball thing that worked, but it looks really bad. That's the word out of Berea is that the offense just looks lifeless.
saw Deontay Johnson on a crosser
you
yesterday.
see plays like that and where Dylan
I'm on
Gabriel
that
just
train.
arm punts it in the end zone, and it's just like you see what this season's gonna be.
It's because now we have no ground game, bro. The whole point was that our 2nd round pick was gonna be one. And I just saw Nick Chubb running in Texas, man. It's looking a little normal. I don't know, man. Hey, Dylan Sampson, 15 carries, 5'6". Wilted.
A little bit of breaking news on the program. I know we got to hit our first break as well. From MLB insider John Heyman.
Who?
The law. You never heard of John?
He's
Heyman?
like the number 2 baseball reporter.
Did I not say earlier? I don't really care much about the Guardians.
All right, that's true. Dodgers are one of, well, he's not a Guardians reporter. He's a baseball. Anyway, Dodgers are one of the many teams in on Guardians all-star left fielder Stephen Kwan. The Dodgers could form a very nice package, starting with top catching prospect
Dalton Rushing.
Welcome down, D.
who is blocked for years by MVP candidate Will Smith.
Oh, there you have it. Cleveland Guardians. All right,
Yeah.
let's take our first break, guys. We get back. Jimmy Haslam speaking to the media about the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation, Arch Manning, which I really like Jimmy Haslam's response, whether he really meant it or not. We'll talk about that when we get back on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone, Rob Watson, and our wonderful friends at Fairway Ford Ohio. Fairway Ford Ohio is the biggest Ford truck dealership in the entire state. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, and they won't be beat on price by any other Ford dealer. Fairway Ford summer sale going on. You don't want to miss out the deals. Make that short drive to Canfield. Save you thousands of dollars on your new dream vehicle while you're doing it. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing and same hometown level of service. Scan that QR code now or go give their website a visit, fairwayfordohio.com. That's fairwayfordohio.com. Jimmy Haslam speaking to the media yesterday. Him and D looking spry.
Yeah.
Talking about the quarterbacks. Says, start here, Shedeur Sanders was not Jimmy Haslam's call. Quote, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur just like who is going to start or what play. That's Kevin Stefanski's call. He says he did not think driving home Friday night that the Browns would take Shedeur Sanders, but Saturday fell in their lap, and Andrew Berry apparently was the one who made that call and sent in the card to make Shedeur Sanders the fourth quarterback here for our Cleveland Browns.
I believe this. I know there were a lot of people that were just like flamethrower this, like that's not the truth. We know who made this pick. Like, I believe it. Andrew Berry is a dude that comes from the analytics world, right? And we know that those people, more so than they value on the field football acumen, they value of itself. So the fact that Shedeur Sanders, they probably maybe had a mid fourth round grade on him, right? So the fact that he got to the mid fifth round, they said, forget optics, throw optics out. That's good value. Whether this is a player that we like or not, it's good value, and they jumped on it. So I like it under that umbrella, and I do believe what Jimmy Haslam said, that it was Andrew Berry's pick. But what scares me about that is that it was Andrew Berry's pick, and that he drafted a different quarterback 50 slots ahead of him, and it's really starting to seem like Shedeur has a pretty big uphill battle to get on the field this year. And I know Jimmy Haslam talked about that and the importance of playing, the rookies this year, but it is I think he's got an uphill battle to play. I do.
He does. I mean, I was sitting here not months ago, but a month ago, and I was sitting here really confident. I was like, not really confident, but I truly believed in the strength of the roster. And going back to that Kevin Stefanski offense, I was like, this team can't be worse than last year. I could see him winning 6-7 games. Like
6-7.
And that's maybe a stretch, but at the same time, I don't really think it is. Like, I know their schedule's tough, but there's some teams, especially playing home games, where if you can rely on your defense and you can just score 17 points, you're going to win those games. But Nick, now to where we are, I just said 3 wins, I think was my mark. So now you're throwing everything out the window. You need to find out who these guys, you need to find out who in 2 years is going to be on your team, is what it comes down to. Wins, loss aside. So if you're not playing Shedeur Sanders at all this year, that's malpractice. I can't even fathom why you wouldn't.
Are we reaching a point where he could actually get fired this year? Because now the dominoes aren't lining up for him for this to go too well. Like if we're looking at another 2 to 3 win season, like is he on the hot seat? Are they saying making changes midway?
I've said yes for a very long time. Like, because I get, like, could we also lead this conversation with, I genuinely believe that right now, present day, Jimmy Haslam really likes Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. And I'll give you guys actual reasons why. I think it's because they're rational thinking human beings, and they don't let emotion in a sport like football drive their decisions. And I think that a lot of people that Haslam has had employed in these jobs during his ownership did act on emotion. So I think he likes that they're reasonable people. I also think he understands that he has historically had a label about him that he's one that has a little bit of a quick to hire, quick to fire, is the label that surrounded Jimmy, and he wants it to be known that these are guys that have had success in the National Football League, so we need to stand by them, because if we don't, somebody else will. Like the conversation that's always had about Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, that if the Browns fire him, they would have jobs somewhere else, even if it's not that immediate next year at some point. So I say all of that to say, if you win 3 games again,
back-to-back years.
I just can't see a world where even
getting
though they
rough.
really like you,
And
it's
you're
just
even
it's just
good
the
at
way
your
that
job.
this sport and you're good at you're good at your job. We really like you, all of this stuff. But at some point, and I get the Browns because they're analytically driven, they continue to preach both publicly and privately. If you listen to Browns pressers from when some of the executives speak, like when Catherine, Roche speaks to the media and stuff, they constantly preach process over results. But the NFL is a results-oriented business. So at some point, the process needs to bear fruit, or else it's a broken process and it's going to be somebody else instilling a new process.
Yeah, I think you hit on it perfectly, Nick. Like, it is a what have you done for me lately kind of league, and it's always going to be that way. But the one little thing I would like to add in addition to that, I think you hit everything on the head pretty well there, is that I do think there's a world where I don't know. I don't know if it's as much external as it is internal. Like, I genuinely think that Dylan Gabriel is like a gift wrapped, we think we're smarter than everyone else, like Andrew Barry, just like legacy pick in a way. So I think if Dylan, like, I in a way, I do think that would, like, that's his turnaround. Like, I'm outsmarting everyone. I don't care if he was taller, be number one, whatever. I think if he just like blows, like, it's just like looks like shouldn't have even been drafted in the first place, I think that could be the death blow.
I think it's more than that. It's the fact that we traded out of 2. So now if Travis Hunter is playing if he's a shutdown corner, and the optics on that with a guy going out this year, if he's doing great. Mason Graham's doing absolutely nothing. Schlesinger is not panning out in that linebacker room. And then we're seeing all the picks. Nick Emenwari's doing good things out. Where is he? Seattle. If Jaden Higgins is in Texans, he's catching touchdowns. And Travion Henderson's in New England, and he's rushing, and he's putting up like 1,500 all-purpose yards. If all of that comes to be the case, and we're getting nothing, and we have another bad season, it's just not going to be defendable because this was a year you had picks, you had the opportunity, you had the leverage to really bring some life in and do the right things, and you're running out of excuses.
There is a point where you can look at the circumstances and try and come up with a reasonable explanation. Well, I can't really fault you for this because X happened, because Y happened. But at some point, rubber has to hit the road.
Running out of those times, bro. We're running out of them.
And it's not. And the difference is too. You're not 3 years into this regime. You're 5, 6 years into this regime. So something has to give. All right, let's take another break. When we get back, little Cleveland buy or sell. Let's see. Guardians. We got some Cavs too?
1 Cavs. So lots of Guardians and Browns, but couldn't leave the Cavs out.
Well, I actually see 2 Cavs questions here, so you're wrong.
Wow, let's go.
We'll be right back on The Big Factor. Everybody, welcome back to The Big Factor and the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone, Rob Watson. I got to tell you about our friends at Garage Beer before we go into a little bit of buy or sell. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want beer to taste, and that's beer-flavored beer. Scan the QR code now or go give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that's drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, let's do a little bit of Cleveland sports buy or sell.
All right, guys, big day for Manzo at the plate yesterday. Do you guys think he will lock up the everyday first baseman job through 2028, which would be a year left in his rookie contract?
Wait, repeat that question one more time.
Sorry.
I wish I had more insight to be able to answer this question.
Repeat it one more time.
So Kyle Manzardo, big day at the plate yesterday. Will he be the Cleveland Guardians' everyday first baseman through 2028?
I want to buy that, yes, because I think that he should be. However, I'm having issues buying that because today when he's out of the lineup, like people are gonna do their thing where they freak out every time that Kyle Manzardo has a really good game and then he's just on a milk carton. So I want to buy that, but I have a hard time believing that the organization even wants to buy that because their actions are not matching his production. Crazy enough.
I'm gonna buy it.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna buy it because I like. Okay, this is crazy. I'm having MLB talk right now.
Let's do it.
I'm buying it because the Santana thing didn't pan out. Bad deal. Let's go with the younger guy. Let's lock him up through the rest of his deal. They're always talking about his bad fielding. Let him play. Let him work it out. I'm sure he could be a pretty solid fielder. He's clearly good at the plate. I like it. I like guys that could hit home runs on our team.
I'm gonna say no. I want to bring back the ghost of Casey Kochman.
Casey Kochman. All right, I'm gonna buy this one. I think you throw Kafis out in right field. Next one, buy or sell. A rookie quarterback will start the most games for the Browns this season.
I like that.
Well,
that's a good question. That's a buy. That's a buy.
Well, here's the thing.
That's tight.
You can't combine the rookie stars.
No, will a rookie QB will start the most games.
Right.
Selling, but barely. That's going to be close.
No, I'm buying. I'm not sleeping on
Six.
the middle of the year random games that nobody will remember against the Patriots and the Jets.
But the thing with this question
Remember
is,
the Browns
if
played the Saints
Flacco
last year?
let's say
No.
Flacco starts 7 games, okay, that leaves how many games left? 17 games, 10 games. Then even if you split 5 and 5 between the
little bit of
rookies,
breaking news here out of Cleveland Browns training camp as DeJuan Jones just left practice on a cart. The team has been in individual drills for the last. They haven't even gotten into team drills yet. So we'll see.
Why are you laughing? Bro?
because it's a joke.
Okay, well.
I hope it's obviously I'm not laughing because of an injury, but the luck.
So now
I hope
that-
it's just cramps. I hope it's something minor.
Hopefully,
Like we've seen players move carts in training camp and it hasn't been
a la
anything serious.
Justin Fields. But I'll go sell because even though I love Shador, I feel like they're just gonna do that completely wrong.
Yeah, he
Like,
was riding shotgun in the cart.
where they're gonna do Shador
Oh,
completely
he's
wrong.
chilling then.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, it's gonna be Flacco or Pickett somehow.
Yeah, I think Flacco will start the most games, and then
Yeah.
you're about like I think rookies will have the most starts combined, but like I don't think Shador is gonna have the most or Dylan Gabriel's gonna have more solo by themselves than Joe
Probably
Flacco.
both have like.
I got a bad feeling about it. I think it's gonna be more like a 3 to 4 games, and then maybe something happens with Flacco, or they have to move on. I think you're gonna get like a nice 7 games out of Dylan Gabriel. That's gonna win it for him. Next one, wrote this one before Uncle Jeff said some stuff this morning. Shane Bieber will be traded tomorrow.
Yup, bye.
The buy got a lot easier in the last couple of minutes.
Bye.
When ESPN's top reporter's putting it out,
Yeah,
that it's
that,
pretty likely. I'll buy that.
We'll see that in the next segment. This one's a fun one, though. I don't know if you guys caught Scoopy on Big Plays YouTube last night, but buy or sell, LeBron James will play another season as a Cleveland Cavalier. Not saying it has to be next year.
Bye.
Yeah, I mean I've been buying it for basically ever now, so I can't switch up.
I buy it, especially if it doesn't happen this year. It'll be much easier for it to happen next year, and then a farewell tour because he's really getting up there. And I don't know what it'll look like in a year from now, but he's LeBron, so I'd still take it at any point in time on my roster.
Yeah, and that was kind of Scoop Robinson's whole thing, is that the dream is probably as close to dead as it possibly could be for this season. But when you look at next year and what a farewell tour would look like, Cleveland would probably be the destination to make that happen. So really good interview with Scoop on Big Play Cleveland. It's on demand, Big Play YouTube channel.
And the app. All right, guys. Next one for you. The Guardians will add an external everyday player or starting pitcher tomorrow.
Bye, because you got to get something back when they trade Shane Bieber. You're not getting back a carton of sunflower seeds.
Could be a minor leaguer.
Cash considerations.
How pissed would people be?
If we traded Bieber for cash considerations,
It better be a lot of cash.
better be enough to build a new stadium when I burn it down after it happens.
Yeah, I guess I'll buy.
I'll also buy.
You know what stinks about this whole conversation with Shane really quick before we pivot back to some Brown stuff? He was to think again, what stinks about the Guardians conversation as a whole is you were 3 games away from the World Series last year. And I think a lot of fans going into this season knew that there would be a little bit of that natural regression, and there surely has been. But I think the one thing that you were hoping could offset some of that is Shane Bieber coming back at some point, and he's finally ready to be back. And this is about that pocket where we thought that he would be back. And you thought like, wow, getting Shane Bieber back, like if you could just stay competitive enough, even with that natural regression, that could be a big piece. That could be a big chip that pushes you, whether it was forward in the American League Central conversation or, the division, wild card, whatever. And that all still could be true. But because Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz wanted to do the things that they have been accused of, now we're seeing this on a little bit of an accelerated timeline, and we might never get to see Shane Bieber pitch for our baseball team ever again. Just figured I'd throw that out there as a very unfortunate detail of many unfortunate details in this Cleveland baseball season.
And one of the most unfortunate of them all, too, is that because of the alleged actions of some of his teammates, like your last memory of Shane Bieber in a Cleveland Guardians jersey is actually in an Akron Rubber Ducks jersey, which makes it even worse in my opinion.
Sucks. It just feels so bad. Like, and doesn't it kind of write the jokes for the people that, just hate the Guardians, will always have pitchforks out about the Guardians, but it writes their jokes for them, Jack. When people say, oh, well, we're just a farm system for the Yankees and the Dodgers.
We rehabbed him back for whoever's going to get him.
There were literally over 10 scouts in the Akron rehab performance because they're looking at this dude as a major, like, that is literally being a farm system.
We literally said, hey, Shane, we're going to pay you $12 million to fix up your arm and then trade you to one of the best teams in baseball. Yeah, I'll sign. I'm sure he was okay with that. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. The way I view it, I guess, is like if you don't have from him like a concrete, I will re-sign next year no matter what happens, like what they struggled to get with Michael Brantley back in the day, I would find it hard to believe they don't trade him today too. It makes sense. Sucks.
Do we think that how about this? Do we think that all of this is going to happen today, or is this going to be like a at the buzzer tomorrow type of thing?
See, I would think a lot of the framework of the deal probably gets done at some points today, but I do think like a lot of the holdups on the last day tend to be like, what is the qualifier for the player to be named later, like stuff like that. Like if Bieber, especially with a guy like Bieber who has these kind of issues or health issues, like I would be shocked if we're getting back a major league player or even like a prospect right now. I would guess it's a player to be named later. And then it's like, if Bieber gives them 40 innings and 7 playoff innings, then maybe we're eligible to pick our prospect, or to let us pick from one of these 3 guys or something. Like I don't think you're going to get any help this year out of what you get from Shane Bieber, but I do think a lot of it we're not even going to know until probably December.
I like your next question, Jack.
Thank you. A Browns wide receiver not named Jerry Jeudy will have 540 yards this season. That 540-yard marker was picked because that's what Elijah Moore produced last season.
I sure as hell hope so, because if you want to win a single game, that's probably going to have to happen. Like 540 yards is not a lot of yards.
No, it's not.
It's not a lot.
He only had like 630 as the number 2 receiver the year before, though, too.
That's really not
receiver
shit.
specifically.
Yeah,
it has to be a wide receiver, not a tight end. Wide receiver.
You would say Njoku. Probably
Buying on
for that.
Deontay Johnson getting at least 600 yards.
I agree.
Buying.
If not him, Cedric Tillman. Like somebody has to eclipse
Specifically
that mark.
Deontay.
Especially if you get a whole, like, not obviously not a whole season, but if you're getting 7-8 games of Joe Flacco and he averages 250 yards a game, which you're going to be probably down, you're not going to be able to run the ball at all. You're going to have to air it out. Like that mark should be hit by Jerry Jeudy by week 8.
Yeah.
And that mark should be hit by week 12 or either
gets
other of those
back.
guys. Like 540 yards is not a lot of yards.
It's going to be a lot of
Or Jerry Jeudy just gets like the Broncos game treatment from last year every single week. Might be the only guy we throw there.
He might throw a bunch of picks. Flacco will throw a bunch of picks. It may be Jameis Winston-esque, but those first weeks with no run game, the numbers are going to be similar. Like to that year, the things Jameis was doing last year for us.
You kind of just made me think of something, Rob, when you're talking about turning the ball over. You know, a lot of people, it's fun when you have a guy like Joe Flacco under center, especially when you don't have many expectations of winning. It's fun to see a guy air the ball out because it's entertaining. And it's good for players because it gets their morale up, it gets their incentives up and all that. But at the same time, if you're looking from a Kevin Stefanski lens who's trying to win games, like that's kind of why I was on Kenny Pickett. Is because if you just get a game manager, a guy that isn't going to turn the ball over, and yeah, that might result in 18 points like we're used to with the Browns offense, and I get that. But at the same time, if you're not turning the ball over, like Kevin Stefanski, that's probably all he's looking for right now. Because if he's scheming guys open and Kenny Pickett can deliver the ball, then you're relying on your playmakers to go out and like, you're not expecting Kenny Pickett to elevate. You're expecting him to do his job. And that's kind of why I thought Kenny Pickett was kind of the front runner to get that starting role, is because we saw what Joe Flacco was. You call it for what it was. He was a turnover machine in that fun run.
You just get that iffy point in the middle where it's, can Kenny do enough to the point where it's like, it's a fine line between we're scoring 10 points in a game and we're getting 18 to 20. Right. It's a very fine line where it goes from, you're throwing from 140 yards to you could get us like 230. And if Kenny could do that, and, you know, you're hitting the wide open guys and you could give us a touchdown and no picks and it's clean football, yes. But when it's versus the guy last year when I was seeing, you know, 2 interceptions, 110 yards, and a 30% completion percentage, I won't utter his name, but yeah, I would rather have the guy who's going to throw for 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, and at least the game's going to be entertaining. I'm going to see a lot of points, you know.
All right, guys, the Cavs roster today is worse than the one that got eliminated by Indy.
Oh, sell that. I think the addition of Lonzo Ball and Larry Nance Jr. of itself, like they did what I'll give Kobe Altman credit. You know, he stuck true to his word while he kicked tires on Kevin Durant and LeBron James, and those would have been the big thing to do. He said at his end of season availability that they were looking to improve on the margins, and I think they did just that. Like Lonzo Ball and Larry Nance Jr. are an upgrade from Isaac Okoro and Tristan Thompson. You know, you look at what and Ty Jerome. You look at what you lost and what you gained. Like, the Cavs are a better team today than they were when they got bounced in Indy.
I'll sell just solely off of the Larry Nance pickup. I like Lonzo. It's a little bit to be said that could end up being scratched depending on how healthy he is and how he's performing. If he's healthy, he's a great passer, 3-and-D guy, can do solid things. I think Ty Jerome's more of a creator because he's more explosive. Lonzo literally got a new knee, like he had a whole new person's knee, so he's not getting to the basket like he once did. But who knows? Maybe this year he comes back more healthy and could do more things. But solely because me and Nick always used to sit around and say, well, what do we do if Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are in foul trouble or are tired? And we're throwing in Tristan Thompson. So just solely off the Larry Nance pickup to have that third big that could also stretch the floor a little bit. He's been shooting okay from 3, athletic guy and versatile. Simply that pickup alone. And if they actually give maybe Tyrese Proctor some minutes or one of these rookies, who knows, maybe they improve from last year. So I'll sell that the team is definitely not worse right now than the roster last year.
And Rob and I have talked about this too, and we've been kind of pumping it up because maybe it's LeBron, but it's probably not at this point. They do have one more open roster spot. So you look at guys on the vet market that you could get. Like, I know we were talking about Scoot B. Robinson earlier. He floated the idea of Kevin Love coming back to Cleveland as a stretch big that could stand out there and shoot threes and grab rebounds.
Still get us 10 to 12 rebounds.
Yeah, they got a roster spot, so somebody is going to be signed up to fill that hole, and that's going to be an improvement, I have to imagine, as well.
All right, let's take a break. When we get back, sports fans have been wilding out this past week. Just some interesting developments at the Phillies game?
Phillies.
And the WNBA.
City of
somebody threw a very...
Love. Got to take out Brotherly now.
You know, I've seen a lot of things chucked onto sports courts, floors, fields, bottles, you know, you name it. This is a first. We'll talk about that when we get back on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Big Factor on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan, Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone. Rob, what, Rob?
You didn't clap.
Oh, my bad. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You've never caught that before.
That's all right, because we're going to clap it out for the 2025 Geauga County Fair.
I was waiting. The 202nd. Great. Geauga County Fair, Thursday, August 28th through Monday, September 1st. Come spend your Labor Day weekend with us out at the great Geauga County Fair. GeaugaFair.com, GeaugaFair.com, GeaugaFair.com. That's how you get your tickets, starting at just $10. They got ride tickets on there as well. It's fun for the whole family. Some of the best food that you're going to find this summer. GeaugaFair.com. Get your tickets. Children 6 and under get in for completely free. 29 days away, boys, from the Geauga County Fair. Go check them out, GeaugaFair.com.
Oh,
How many animals?
Once a show.
Thousands.
All right, guys, I have seen some public indecencies I've seen in my life. I've seen some PDA. In fact, I've seen some PDA in a lot of weird places.
I have one place in specific. Could we rank like our places where you see the most of it? Because it's got to be in line at Cedar Point.
Dude, it's disgusting because it's like, no, I could actually talk about this for an hour. Tell Bruce to wait. Okay, there is nothing more fucked up on the planet than it being like 95 degrees outside. You're elbow to elbow with, in my case, a lot of people who are typically 5 times my size, and you're just sitting there and like it's sweaty, it's hot, and then there's these two just like monsters who are just on top of each other, like leaning over the rail. You got like 7-year-old kids trying to like get in line. They're like hanging over the side of the rail, like, you know, because they can't sit still.
Like,
and then you got like a little kid's face just like it just gets disgusting. Like I am
hoodies on. When
I'm the biggest believer in like I could have $114 in my bank account. But if it's $113 for the Fast Pass and I'm at Cedar Point, I'm doing it every single time.
Yeah, Cedar Point, I've seen that quite a few times.
Yeah.
I would say
that's like breeding grounds.
the hallways of Nordonia
That is where
High School.
COVID-19 started.
Yeah.
It wasn't in
When
Wuhan.
I
It was
used to
at
take the
Sandusky.
public school bus, I used to see a lot of things back in the day at the back of that bus. Man.
The hallways at the high school, like there were
the locker.
there were days where you just like weren't vibing with it, and it was just an exclusively like head down day. Like you can't even look up because you know what you're gonna see is just
listening to Prime Lil Uzi, and then I just see it to the right of me. Someone just
Prime
on
Uzi.
on the locker, and then you know the principal's gonna get on me because I got my hood up today, but he's not gonna say anything to the people that are literally over here about to create a child against the locker, bro. Stuff that used to get me tight, man.
Well, I haven't seen it at a sports game, but Phillies fan at the New York Yankee Stadium. I mean, he was, you know.
Yeah, I mean, well, the first thing my head goes back to on this is 2016 when the two fans of Progressive Field got caught on top of each other in the upper deck. Like that actually, in my opinion, kind of sparked the Cavs 3-1 comeback, and then the Guardians, Indians at the time, 12-game win streak right after the Cavs won the title. But this one was bad, man. Like you just when you do an act like that, like I feel like just like the overall movements are just very hard to disguise.
She was convulsing, is what it was, and then
no, she wasn't.
Yes, she was.
Yeah,
No, she faked it. Totally fake.
That's a good
it's
conversation.
totally fake because there's no because think about it. Think about it. If you're that person,
I'm not worried about it being fake.
No, if you're that person and you're genuinely like having a good time with what's going on in the moment, you're gonna do whatever you can to make sure that you're concealed and no one around you. I mean, she's like
highly
she's begging to get caught.
Highly disagree. You know? She wanted the attention. So regardless of how I think it was or not, she was gonna do that regardless. Though I don't think it was fake. But if you're gonna do that in a public setting like that, they might be kind of into that. I don't know. So maybe she was just happy that people saw. Maybe
people
they're
need to
happy.
reel it.
Hot at a baseball game.
Two things. If you're don't do that. First of all, don't do it.
The hat was barely on.
If you're gonna, if you're gonna,
is the hat staying on his head?
If you're gonna do it, like you have to be all the way up. You can't have people behind you. First of all, second of all, she was like sucking on his nipples.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like,
are we gonna talk about the ending when he was done and he tasted it?
Oh my god, yeah, that's.
That just means he loves her.
I mean, that's a little bit wild to do at Citizens Bank Park, though. No.
Well, anyway. Somebody threw a dildo on the court in the WNBA. Like, I'm not gonna mince my words.
Bro.
I've never seen, I've seen a lot of things thrown onto floors, bottles, clothes. I've never seen a dildo thrown on an NBA court.
Did you see? It was then it became. a Scooby-Doo episode of trying to figure out who threw it, and they were like they stopped the game, and then like the entire sideline was like under interrogation.
That's not,
So what's the
in a way?
process
Have you
of
seen
sneaking
Semi-Pro
that in,
before, the Will Ferrell movie when they're in the ABA? Like it's probably like similar, like 7,000 people crowds. Like it's just like when Jackie Moon just like stops playing, he's like when the guy's eating the nachos. Like that's just what it reminded me of when I saw that.
Talk to me. You wake up and this is what you decide you're gonna do with your
Yeah,
day.
how does that happen?
How do you sneak that
I mean,
in? What's the game plan?
There's a few layers here. One is exactly that. Did you just go buy a dildo to strictly throw it onto the floor? Was this a used dildo? That's another layer. Why was it green? That's another layer. Why did they make odd colored?
Could be glow in the dark.
Yeah,
True, I suppose.
could be a Kermit fan.
All right.
Tyler, like
I've just never seen anybody throw a sex toy.
We were talking before the show. I've got
downs back.
how'd
at the
they get
games.
it in?
We need to bring pat downs back at the games.
How'd they get it in? Because if you've got a bag, they do the thing. Like I know
yeah.
because I'm with Cam every time, and
Oh,
we
yeah,
got to
it
go
goes through the
stand
thing
in the
and
long
And they put the
line.
little poker
because
in
he's got a
too,
bag.
yeah.
And they put that little orange stick in there and fish around your stuff. Maybe they thought somebody was just entering with that. I guess it's not a weapon. You know, it's not a weapon.
In the stadium, like whatever you call it, the rules. Do they have a clause that says no dildos?
Maybe now they need to reprint all of
yeah,
those
it's one of those things where they
signs.
thought like, hey, didn't have to put that on there.
Yeah,
And
never
now
thought I'd have
it's
to,
like,
man.
oh, guess you have to put no
Never
sex
thought
toys in the stadium.
I think here's the thing about this story though, like the cameras zoomed in on it. The fact that
Why did they do that? Why did they feel the need to show it? Like they could have just someone could have just grabbed
like
it.
the mop guy, and like that stands there, and when they run to the other side of the floor,
go
goes out,
grab it
go
and
out
let it
there,
be.
mop it right into the corner. Nobody has to see it. And then the fact that they stopped the game and it became like a big whodunit, like that just it amplified the situation.
Like who's picking that shit up, dude?
Somebody
That's my
in
question.
gloves.
Well, you see something new every day. We're out of time here. Appreciate everybody tuning into the Big Factor and the Big Play Sports Network. Shout out to Garage Beer. Shout out to Fairway Ford. Shout out to the great Jogga County Fair. Go get your tickets today. It's coming up sooner than you realize. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Same people, same time. Until then, peace out.